We should be live.
Let me check. I never heard an audio clip if you did play one. Oh, she's gone. So sweet, so crispy. Hey, you. Oops. The title still says Piper and stuff. I don't know if you changed that.
Yep, forgot that.
Right.
Okay.
I could not think of anything to name this episode, so I just went with their D&D alignment.
I mean, that works.
It works for Hancock. I don't know how well it works for MacCready. I love Hancock. My love was rekindled for this research.
All right, and the correct podcast went live. Good.
Oh yeah, I forgot you have that to worry about now.
Mm-hmm. I think I have that all sorted out, though. Okay. Well, recording in Audacity might be a good idea.
Oh yeah. Did you see Audacity? What's it called? Okay, hold on. How do I change my audio? Because they updated. All I have is built-in microphone. Oh, I think I need to close it and reopen it. Technical today.
Update, and I was like, no, not today, Satan.
I did because I was like, watch my audio get freaking messed up if I don't do this. But it looks so different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they changed the layout of well, not of everything, but like some of it. Okay. I'm recording now. Oh wait, how do I check my recording? Oh, well, it looks good. They got rid of the little sliders for like recording volume and stuff. Whatever, it looks okay. I don't know if anyone's going to join us tonight.
Hold on.
Oh wait, actually, people are.
Hold on. I am trying to figure out, why am I so quiet? Legend, hey. Okay. Am I really quiet on stream? We can't hear me? Okay.
Weird that they can hear me.
Well, it's because we're on separate things. The fuck am I looking for? We're gonna go super loud on everything. All right. Now I'm like probably way too fucking loud. I'm way too loud. Okay. Perfect, actually? Okay. V, you talk.
Hello. Can you hear me? Am I alive?
Mm-hmm. That's a separate question.
Do you hear the bear?
Yeah.
I love this cat. He's the best. Don't play with this, though. You can't have it. Sorry, everybody. Oh, he's falling. Okay, Mary. Stop. Be a solid, not a liquid. He's
Okay.
a potato.
I'm a potato who thinks we should get this show on the road tonight. It has been a fucking day, y'all. It has been a day. This freak show. Yes, we need to take this freak show on the road.
Yeah. It has been a day. A fucking day.
Yeah. Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Just so everybody knows, I'm still at work. I'm actually taking an extended lunch break in order to bring you this live podcast tonight. This was not the plan at fucking all. And yeah.
I feel you. I'm currently on oxycodone because I have a kidney stone. I was at the ER for 4 hours today. Yay for oversharing. I feel fine right now, but not earlier. It was worse than childbirth. It was the worst pain of my entire life. I'm not even kidding. Soaked. Mary, no. Mary, no.
No. Okay. Water.
Yeah, water, very important. Turns out my kidney stone is because I've had 3 UTIs this year. I don't know why. I have to go to a urologist because that's what caused it. Chronic UTIs can do that, apparently. Oop, turn my phone on. Do not disturb. No vibraties during the stream.
No, not on stream. Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Genesis, the girl who lives in a whirlwind of chaos, but wouldn't have it any other way.
And I'm Bravada, the girl. Wow, my kid typed this. Sorry. The girl who would like a little bit less chaos. Please and thank you. But otherwise, I'm good.
We just need the right kind of chaos. And if you're new here, welcome to the beautiful chaos. But you should know that our podcast centers around character and romance analysis and doesn't shy away from exploring the fun of fucking.
Or from the deep emotional connections built between 2 characters using specific in-game dialogue. So if you want to stay spoiler-free, then this isn't the podcast for you.
So here's your fucking spoiler alert.
Thank you, N7, for being here on every single episode. We appreciate you. And just like with all of our previous episodes, we assume that you have some background knowledge of the game and character in question, but we'll be providing context for those of you who may be unfamiliar.
In today's episode, we'll be doing the boys a favor with all our manual labor because it's good to be a good neighbor. That's right. We'll be going ghoul today for Good Neighbor's mayor, John Hancock. And we'll also be talking about Robert Joseph R.J. MacCready, the guy in Fallout with the most names and former mayor of Little Lamplight and former member of the Gunners. He's got a resume. We'll be starting with John, Mr. Vice Guy Hancock.
It's just real rare these days. Find someone who's not willing to take things the way they're handed to them. Too many good folks not willing to get their hands dirty. And too many assholes taking advantage of it.
Wow, I just had an extremely dirty thought about taking advantage of assholes.
It's only accurate for Hancock.
Yeah.
I am feral for this ghoul.
John Hancock was actually born John McDonough and is the estranged younger brother of the Diamond City's Mayor McDonough, who we talked about last week. I guess politics run in the family, but other than the same job, these two brothers have nothing in common. They seem to have been born estranged as well. Hancock considered his older brother entitled and said that when they were young, he would shove rotten potatoes down the back of his shirt and slap them. Ew.
Ew. Yeah, honestly. Hancock is a notorious chem addict and alcoholic, albeit functional and good-natured. If you hadn't noticed by his voice or his face, he's a ghoul, otherwise known as humans who have been changed by intense exposure to radiation. It's almost like becoming a Marvel superhero, except you look like the survivor of horrific burns and live 10 times a normal lifespan. While most ghouls were created when the bombs fell or from accidental radiation exposure, Hancock is notable in that his ghouldom was self-inflicted when he took an experimental drug in his endless chase for the perfect high. He got it, but he also got ghouled.
Hancock and his brother still had some semblance of a relationship up until the elder McDonough ran for mayor of Diamond City in 2282 on an anti-ghoul platform, fanning the flames of fear and hatred for the mutated inhabitants of the city. When he was elected, Hancock confronted his brother in his office after his inauguration speech. But his brother would not apologize for the anti-ghoul violence his platform had created. He just boasted that the city was finally his. It's exactly the kind of person we want in office, right? Self-serving and bigoted. Yay!
That tracks. And that's how Hancock and his fellow Diamond City ghouls made their way to the nearby settlement of Goodneighbor. At the time, Goodneighbor was run by a ruthless mob boss named Vic, and the settlement was not very hospitable to people just looking for a fresh start. Most of the refugees from Diamond City ended up wandering the ruins of Boston, eventually dying of starvation or some random violence, because, that's everywhere. Hancock didn't take this very well and fell into depression, turned to drug abuse, and at one point, like we said, took an experimental drug with some irreversible consequences known as becoming a ghoul. He maintains that the high was totally worth it.
The darkest day for Hancock was when he witnessed a fellow drifter be murdered by some of Vic's henchmen. He knew that there was nothing he could have done to save the drifter, but he still blamed himself and thought himself a coward. He said in the aftermath that he felt like he was less than nothing. He went particularly hard on his drug and alcohol binge that night and blacked out. When he woke up, he found himself on the floor of the old state house in the front of founding father John Hancock's clothes. John McDonough was gone, and the new John Hancock was born.
He borrowed some weapons from Cleo, went sober for a time, and assembled a hodgepodge force of other drifters angry at the state of Goodneighbor. He planned a revolution. They took Vic's gang by surprise one night as they were deep in their cups and massacred them. Yay! As an added bonus, they stormed Vic's quarters in the State House, dragged him out to the balcony, and Hancock makes his speech and hung him. What a statement. 10 out of 10 political coup. As he looked down on the gathered citizens of Goodneighbor, he said his favorite quote, "Of the people, for the people." He's been mayor ever since.
He's sitting pretty as mayor when you, the sole survivor, first meet him at the gates of Goodneighbor. He's not above doling out some street justice when people are being taken advantage of. He's an anti-hero. He's basically Deadpool, but without the trademark quips of Ryan Reynolds. It's definitely got a similar face. He's got his own catchphrases, though. Just listen to this badass establishing character moment.
First time in Goodneighbor? You can't go walking around without insurance.
Unless it's keep dumb assholes away from me insurance, I'm not interested.
Now don't be like that. I think you're gonna like what I have on offer. You hand over everything you got in them pockets, or accidents start happening to you. Big, bloody accidents.
Someone steps through the gate the first time, they're a guest. You lay off that extortion crap.
What do you care? She ain't one of us.
No love for your mayor, Finn? I said let her go.
You soft, Hancock. You keep letting outsiders walk all over us. One day, there'll be a new man.
Come on, man. This is me we're talking about. Let me tell you something. Now, why'd you have to go and say that, huh? Breaking my heart over here. You alright, sister?
Your face. Something happened?
Like it? I think it gives me a sexy King of the Zombies kind of look. Big hit with the ladies. I'm a ghoul, you see? A lot of walking rad freaks like me around here. So you might want to keep those kinds of questions on the low burner next time. Good neighbors of the people, for the people. You feel me? Everyone's welcome.
His voice, I swear, there's something about that rasp. I feel you. And he is definitely yeah.
I was just gonna say the other character that we love with a rasp is Garrus, so we got a thing for voices.
Yeah, I don't think I have a type, but I definitely have a preference for what you sound like.
Yeah, me too.
Getting back
this
to
or vaguely Welsh accent. Sorry, you waited, and I just
because I was trying to think of how to segue back. And getting back to Hancock and naughty thoughts, he is definitely the king of good neighbor, and like any king, he is prone to be complacent from living the good life. After you complete the mission, the Big Dig, where you help Bobby No-Nose try to steal from Hancock, he realizes that he's become too pampered, and that's when he can be your newest traveling companion.
I actually really like what he says in his speech here when he's about to go off with you to the people of Good Neighbor. He says, "No one in power should be comfortable for too long." We've heard this idea a lot from the Iron Throne in Game of Thrones, literally being made of swords, thus cutting you if you get too comfy, to the late Queen Elizabeth saying the crown weighs so much that if you look down to read your speech, rather than lifting your cards up to your face, it would snap your neck. It's true, though. Comfort breeds complacency. Complacency allows errors, lapses in judgment, and abuse of power, which will probably end with you being forcibly removed. Just see all of history for examples of that.
Like, every single time, every time. Yeah. Hancock himself is great at holding himself accountable, to the point where he often places the blame on himself, even for the things he could not control. But after his metamorphosis into his current ghoul self, he has vowed to never be a bystander again. And he lives up to that. His personal mantra is essentially, be good to the innocent and merciless to the guilty. He's also atoning for his past sins, and for the sins of his brother, Mayor McDonough. He even heard rumors that his brother was replaced by a synth. I guess they get the public occurrences in Good Neighbor. While he used to think it was a load of shit, he's recently been doubting.
I think I buy it. I've seen him since then, and there's no way they copied him that perfectly. Even got his tight-ass walk.
That's why I love Hancock. He's got some of the best dialogue in the game. If you haven't gathered yet, Hancock's who I romanced Fallout 4, but only because Nick Valentine can't be romanced. I'm still not over that. Never. Just like with all the other Fallout 4 romances, you just have to get the affinity up high enough to romance Hancock. This actually annoys me. Hancock is considered an optional companion, so he can die, and while he's involved in a few quests, none are actually essential to his romance, apart from the acquisition quest, the Big Dig. Hancock is a delicious blend of chaos and morals. He likes it when you take chems and walk around naked, but he hates it if you kill nonviolent NPCs or steal. He really is the epitome of chaotic good.
Good.
I know I run my mouth, but having someone who sees the world for what it is and is willing to do something about it, it's meant a lot to me. I feel damn lucky to have you as a friend.
And that's what we are? Friends?
Well, now that you mention it, I have been having slightly more impure thoughts than usual. Maybe we'll get to act on those.
Yes. Yes, we will. And here we get to the yummy stuff. I want to read an excerpt from an article V found called The Fallout 4 Character Who Broke My Heart by Kate Gray on Kotaku. It reads, "They were all so judgmental. Piper, the reporter, hated drugs, murder, and violence. Curie, the floating spear woman bot, was constantly pressing me to do science-y things and look down on stealing and threats. Preston, one of the first companions you get, disliked cannibalism. I mean, come on, guys. This is Fallout. You can't just expect me to go around bombed out Boston being nice to and or not eating everyone." Then I'd met John Hancock. Talk about broken boys. Hancock's face looked like the result of putting Peeps in the microwave. At first glance, I was a little creeped out by the lack of his nose, lips, and skin, but it wasn't long before I wanted to find out if he still had a tongue, if you know what I mean. I can't believe I read all of that with a straight face. I need props after that one.
First of all, Peeps in the microwave sent me when I first read that. I was like, no, it's a good joke, but you didn't have to go there.
You want another Hancock joke?
Yeah.
Okay. Hancock didn't think he could hurt himself masturbating, but he pulled it off.
Oh no. Well, that ruins all of my plans.
Maybe he can reattach it.
Like a Lego.
The Lego boyfriend gets brought up once again.
I'll never let him go.
Never let you go, Jack. John, yeah. And yeah, I agree. I think that everybody is really nice and sweet, and sometimes you want that chaos run. You want to play. I mean, that's why I think I was attracted to Gage when we were talking about him, because I was like, I need a little bit more of a bad boy, and I feel like Hancock would definitely, no pun, fill that slot for me.
Yes. I do know what she means about wanting to find out if he still had a tongue. I mean, he's just so damn charismatic and exactly what you'd expect someone in the wasteland to be. Ghoul or no ghoul, he's as good as he should be and as bad as he needs to be to survive. So once you've gotten his affinity up as high as it goes, you can get that sweet, sweet romance dialogue. Let's listen to our sexy ghoul be vulnerable for a minute. Oh, the recipe for my love.
Being out here with you, it's made me realize most of my life to this point, I've been running out on the good things I got. I skipped out on my family, my life in Diamond City, took up with you just to get out a good neighbor. Hell, running from myself is what made me into a damn ghoul. But being here with you for the first time in my life, things have just felt right. And running is the furthest thing from my mind. I mean, I left Good Neighbor thinking I was gonna just sharpen up the old killer instinct. But whether it's fate, or destiny, or just goddamn coincidence, I ended up with someone like you. If I hadn't taken up with you, I'd probably be in a gutter somewhere, getting gnawed on by rad roaches. You have been one hell of a friend.
Have you ever thought about us as maybe more than just friends?
Is that obvious? Come on, you don't want to wake up to this mug every morning. Never wish that on anyone I cared for.
Who I fall for is my decision. And I've fallen for you.
Wouldn't expect that kind of lapse in judgment from you. But I guess that works out for me then, doesn't it? Moments like this, I know all that karma stuff is bull. Because no one like me should be this lucky. Come on, love. Let's get this freak show on the road.
It calls you love.
That's what sealed the deal, man. Oh, so good.
I am a sucker for a pet name. Like, as soon as I hear one of those, I'm like, I'm in, I'm done, I'm yours. And really, when it comes down to it,
my only rule regarding sex is that it be done well.
and I feel like Hancock can definitely get it done well. I mean, as long as I still have enough biological parts to work with, I think that you could still have fun. I do see that could possibly be an issue for like long-term sexual compatibility. I don't know how much more is going to fall off of him. He doesn't have the skin, he doesn't have the nose. It could be an issue. And they say love is blind, but they never say whether it has a sense of smell. Having a romantic relationship with an irradiated ghoul would be complicated. But admittedly, his good nature and passion for defending the innocent make him an honorable guy. And he can hold his own in a fight. Any physical touch, though, would require a rat X or two. And possibly a lead-lined condom. I'm good, V. You're...
Oh, sorry. I mean, that's the biggest downfall, is that he's so irradiated. How are you supposed to do stuff? But anyway, apart from the physicality bits, I have lots to say about the actual romance that's there because I really feel like it's a good one. It's a good one. I think what's funny is Hancock is one of those characters that's like the Casanova. Everyone propositions him when you go into any settlement. Does not matter that he's a... I kind of have something... I have a thought that it's due to his confidence. Like, it doesn't really matter what he looks like because he's so confident. And that's sexy. And another part of Hancock that I really like is that he's good, but that doesn't mean that he's nice or soft, which is what you need in a world like the Commonwealth in post-apocalyptic America. He will take care of you, but he also knows that you can take care of yourself. It's not another one of these, like, you complete me thing. Hancock has trauma. He's a broken boy. But you don't fix him. Your companionship makes him realize on his own that he is worth, sticking around and doing stuff. Because you make him a better person, not a whole person. There's a big difference there. When he says that he realizes that he was doing some small town stuff with Good Neighbor when he saw what you as the sole survivor were trying to do. So he realigned his goals. He made it bigger. So you help him to realize his full potential, which is what you want in a partner. He also has that sexy, gruff voice that is amazing. And he is definitely monogamous. He's faithful to you because there's times when he's your companion and you're in a settlement and they proposition him for, like, there's a tour of the town, as they call it. He'll say he's, quote, no longer a wandering ghoul because the one I got ain't someone you go wandering on. Which is so cute. It's so cute. Oh, I really like him. Plus, I really have a strong affinity for that kind of character who is protector of the innocent and merciless to the guilty. You know, he doesn't let people take advantage of people. And with my strong sense of justice, I really feel like that is such a great trait. So 10 out of 10, love Hancock forever. I hopefully
Agreed.
could love him forever because he's a ghoul. Maybe I would need to become a ghoul. I don't know. I have a skincare routine, so I'm not sure if I'm willing to commit like that.
Well, maybe if you keep your skincare routine up, then you don't get like the full
Yeah.
effects. It'd be
Yeah.
worth it. Go ghoul.
It would be. Go ghoul.
All right. Now it's time for a quick mid break so you can hear from our sponsors. We can thank our patrons and do a bit of housekeeping. Mid break dance.
I'm sorry. I got caught up in the wonderful V alliteration between Cloudy and Daddy Bat Night in chat. I forgot that I'm first for fun facts this time. I'm not normally first. Okay. Here's a fun fact that I found. If you go up to the upper floor of the memory den, you can read an entry on Irma's terminal that states, quote, "Well, let's just say if you thought he was handsome and dangerous now, you should have seen him before he turned ghoul." I bet that's the start of many a fanfic. Obviously, this is about Hancock. I don't even care what he looked like before. I love him now. That's called the female gaze, everyone, okay? He is enough. I don't care what he looks like. Also, his personal favorite chems are mentats because they make him feel, quote, intellectual. And he actually has the second highest special intelligence score of all the companions at a respectable 14. I don't even know if he needs the mentats. Or maybe it's a result of chronic mentat use. Not sure.
Yeah. Permanent, constant drug use can definitely have permanent alterations to your mind. Most of them are
Or
not
your
in the positive, though. Yeah, don't do that. Also, I bet you that sexy Hancock mod is what he looks like before he became cool. I feel like
No,
we could.
because I looked it up and it's like it's still a ghoul at least the one I saw as sexy Hancock mod was still a ghoul and his like eyes glowed. It was not. I didn't like it. It wasn't for me.
You can
But I
turn
did
that.
see a fan art of half ghoul Hancock face and half like imagined human prior to ghoul face, and it was good. It was a good fanfic or fan art.
I'll have to look at that later. So our second character for tonight is going to be MacCready. And I found out that MacCready will comment on how he misses Galaxy News Radio with Three Dog and the downtown DC monuments from the Capitol Wasteland. He is also an avid fan of Gronak the Barbarian comics. And as of 2287, he is only missing the issue where Mastodonal and Nope, I don't think I can do that word.
Skullpocalypse.
Team up to fight Gronak. It is nice to see a kick-ass nerd, even if I can't pronounce the words in your fandom, bro. It's all good. We unite. We don't have any new reviews to read out this week, but of course we have to thank and shout out and shower with love and affection and just the everythings to our amazing patrons. Toasty, my beast, Apollo, Shenko, Misthios, Luke, Win, and Bat Knight. Very much appreciated. And one more thing, Meiji is back. Meiji Moose will be joining us at the end of the month for the Patreon chat. He is back on our Patreon. So thank you, Meiji Moose. Oh my god, I have one more announcement to make. Holy crap. Okay. So, speaking of Toasty, something kind of big happened, and The revitalization of the Cyberpunk lorecast had been thrown around, and Toasty is the host of the Witcher lorecast, which is also produced by the same development company of CD Projekt Red. So Tom, who has taken on more of his own shows, didn't really have the time to make the Cyberpunk lorecast as good as it was. So he was like, hey, Toasty, you love Cyberpunk. You were on on that patron, and now I'm looking for somebody to take it over. So Tom handed Toasty the podcast and was like, I need a co-host. And my beast mode texted me and was like, hey, you want to do a podcast? So I messaged him a GIF back going, oh, are you asking me out on a date? Because yes. So, we are now the new hosts of the Cyberpunk Lorecast. It will be a weekly show that we record on Thursday nights. So yeah, go follow us now on twitch.tv/cyberpunklorecast and check us out on all of the platforms. We're up on Spotify, iTunes, Apple, everywhere that you can find the girls, you can find the Cyberpunks.
I need to listen.
Yes, you do.
I haven't listened yet. But I do love me some Cyberpunk. Okay, now it is time to get into MacCready, our next topic for the day.
Are we getting into him or is he getting into us? Sorry, that was bad.
You know what? I don't even know. Depends, I guess, on if you're playing Nate or Nora. Or how you're playing Nate and Nora.
Vervada Marie. Oh my word. Okay.
That's my mother's name. I'm just kidding. Well, her middle name actually is Marie.
Marie or Elizabeth are like the middle names I give everybody whenever I'm trying to get them in trouble.
Every white girl ever. Marie or Rose. Elizabeth's common too.
Yep. I've definitely yelled. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Back on track.
I'm high today. I'm sorry.
And I'm a space cadet because I've officially been at work for 12 hours. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can survive the wasteland.
I'm completely self-taught, you know. Picked up a sniper rifle when I was 10 and never looked back. Always thought it was smarter to hit my targets at long range. I mean, why take chances, right? Besides, I had to come up with every trick in the book to survive the capital wasteland.
Robert Joseph R.J. MacCready was born in the capital wastelands, the wastes surrounding Washington, D.C., to the parents that quickly disappeared from his life. He grew up in Little Lamplight, a children's-only colony that you can visit in your travels in Fallout 3. You can even meet MacCready, who is the mayor of Little Lamplight in 2274. When a child turned 16, they had to leave Little Lamplight. And so when MacCready left, he became a gun for hire and wandered the wastes looking for caps. Over time, he met a woman named Lucy, and they became lovers and mercenaries together.
MacCready will spin you quite the yarn about their young love and their travels. They got married and eventually had a son, Duncan, which if you do the math, he's technically a teenage parent. But they had a period of time that was lovely by all accounts. There aren't many happy endings in post-war America, though, so, of course, Lucy was brutally murdered by a pack of feral ghouls at a metro station. You know, where feral ghouls are always at, everywhere, especially in the capital wasteland. Right in front of Duncan and MacCready, too. So, yay, trauma. He vowed to never swear again, randomly, then built a homestead for him and his son to start over. I really don't know why swearing, like not swearing, makes MacCready a better dad or bring his wife back somehow, but I guess whatever floats his boat.
Maybe his wife didn't like swearing, so in order to honor her in some way, he quit? I don't know. But to add insult to injury, Duncan falls ill with some strange sickness. He was exposed to something in their homestead's fields, and the next day had a fever with blue boils all over his body. Yuck. MacCready decided to leave Duncan behind to go off and find a cure, apparently entrusting the care of his severely ill son to his, quote, friends. No one had apparently ever heard of this disease, but he was going to try. That's why he's in the Commonwealth. There might be a cure there, given so many medical laboratories exist in the Boston area. However, he needed some caps to survive, so he joined the Gunners.
Well, so he became a sharpshooter for the Gunners, and the caps were plentiful. However, the Gunners aren't known for their morals, and MacCready's personal code and promise he made to his son to be a better person made him cut ties with them in the summer of 2287. He resumed his prior career as a freelance gun for hire, looking to complete his mission of finding a cure. It just so happens that he meets Sinclair, a man who is also looking for a cure for the mysterious blue boils. He tells MacCready that MedTech Laboratories was experimenting with a universal cure, and Sinclair needs a partner to go get it.
MacCready will tell you that Sinclair gave him the door codes because he no longer needed them, as his partner with boils had died. MacCready tried to break in on his own, but the overwhelming presence of feral ghouls forced him to quit. So he has apparently been waiting for the perfect partner to come along to help him get the cure, and has set up shop in Goodneighbor in the meantime. There were two gunners who did not like MacCready, a former gunner in their territory, Winlock and Barnes. MacCready tells you that they have hounded him for months, driving off his customers, and others have avoided him due to his former affiliation with the Gunners. Basically, MacCready was victimized and hopeless, with only Daisy, the old ghoul merchant, as a friend. Until the sole survivor shows up, and MacCready's hope returns.
Yay! Once again, you're the solution to everybody's problems. You turn up at quite the opportune time for MacCready, too. Winlock and Barnes confront MacCready and tell him he can either stop doing business in the Commonwealth or else. He can't pay them off because they'll just kill him anyway with the, quote, small army of gunners out there. He can't run because they'll just find him, apparently. And he obviously can't kill them alone. But then you show up, and MacCready starts to form a plan. This mission is called Long Road Ahead, and it is the one mission that is required in order to romance him. If you don't finish this quest, which will have you take care of the Gunners and get the universal cure from MedTech, his affinity will cap far below the amount necessary to romance him.
It's important to note that you hire MacCready as a companion. He doesn't come along willingly, like anyone else you're intriguing. Or, what? It's important to note that you hire MacCready as a companion. He doesn't come along willingly like anyone else because you're intriguing or you're cool. You hire him as a merc. And yet he refers to you as if you're a partner, as if he hired you to take out Winlock and Barnes and help him get the universal cure. He also only mentions his child and the cure after the Gunners are dealt with, which seems like he pre-planned this.
Yeah, stop listening if you are like super enraptured with MacCready because we're going to criticize him a bit. Because MacCready is sus AF. Like, he leaves behind his gravely ill child at this point for months. There's no way to know if his kid's still alive, but he's still dicking around looking for a cure. He gets a job and, like, just works for the Gunners for a while. That's what I mean by dicking around. Like, he's not really that focused, it seems like. Then he meets you, supposedly in a crazy random happenstance, and you hire him, and then he gives you a job. And then when that's out of the way, that being the Gunners, he then tells you how good it is to have someone he can trust and this sob story about Duncan and Lucy. Either MacCready sure has a shit ton of bad luck, or he made that up and he's trying to steal the universal cure for some unknown buyer. Seems more likely as a freelance mercenary.
Look, I know I tend to be a pain in the ass. I mean, I know I tend to be arrogant and I come off like I want to be alone. Nothing could be further from the truth. Being alone scares the heck out of me. Now that we've been traveling together for a while, I'm beginning to realize how much I missed having someone I could depend on. I just wanted you to know that I'm going to do everything I can to see that it stays this way.
It's interesting because once you get the cure, he hands it off to Daisy, a traitor and good neighbor, to take to his son. He doesn't just go himself, which, to be honest, is a huge red flag. I don't see how he would want to see the cure work. I don't see how he wouldn't want to see the cure work for himself. I know if I was handed a cure for my child's disease, I would take it there personally. Also, if you needed to get an extremely rare and important item from the Commonwealth to the capital wasteland, you probably wouldn't hire Daisy. While she's probably the oldest trader in the Commonwealth, the center of the trade in the area is Bunker Hill, not Good Neighbor. Good Neighbor is where you'd entrust a stolen item to be sold on the black market for a large sum, or potentially to a client that works for the Institute. I can see why they would be very interested in something like a universal cure.
All of this is, of course, conjecture because Bethesda didn't deign to add some continuity between Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. So there's not a timeline that's just simply empty or has completely conflicting data. MacCready himself never actually describes Duncan or Lucy, other than Lucy's horrific death and Duncan's blue boils. But we do know for sure that at least Lucy existed because Vadim, the bar owner in Diamond City, will ask after her if MacCready is your companion. MacCready, interestingly, will say she didn't make it, which the way he said it and like the way he talked about her kind of sounds a lot more like describing the death of a sister in arms rather than a beloved wife. Perhaps Lucy was in on the scheme to get the universal cure too, but the medtech ghouls killed her there instead of back in the capital wasteland. I mean, one thing's for sure, we'll never really know.
Yeah, and like we said, it's all one interpretation of the way to read into his conversations with you. If you take him at his word, though, it's not that different of a backstory to your own, and you can connect with him on that level. Your spouse was brutally murdered in front of you, and the status of your own son is currently unknown, but you have hope to save him. MacCready, like Hancock, is a lovable rogue who, despite his willingness to commit crimes, is actually a good dude. It's not that realistic to have all of your companions be idealists like Preston or Dance, or just solid good people like Curie. Most are like Kate, or Hancock, or MacCready. Good, but not squeaky clean good.
And here we are at the end of the road for Fallout 4. You can raise MacCready's affinity by stealing, asking for more money for jobs, choosing sarcastic dialogue options, and being nice to children and ghouls. He kind of has a thing for ghouls, because he likes to flirt or watch you flirt with a number of them in the Commonwealth. For all like Hancock, I understand. Once you've gotten the universal cure and raised MacCready's affinity to the highest level, the romance culmination dialogue will happen. Just like with all the romances in Fallout 4, they pack a lot into a short conversation.
Damn, I miss Lucy. No matter how bad things got, she was always there with a shoulder to lean on. It gave me... well, it gave me the courage I needed to press ahead. To never give up. When she died, I thought that feeling was gone forever. Then I met you. You have the world's problems on your back, and here you are helping me with mine. Lending me your shoulder like Lucy did. I just want you to know how much your friendship means to me.
I was hoping what we have together could be more than friendship.
I don't know. I mean, I never thought of us that way. What about your husband? I know he's gone, but you still love him, don't you?
Would it bother you if I still love him?
I don't know. I mean, we're two sides of the same coin, right? It's true, I miss Lucy to death. But at some point we have to move on, don't you think?
That's the past. You are all that matters to me now.
I don't know what to say. I know I was taking a chance dumping all my feelings on the table. But now that I know how you really feel about me, it was definitely worth the risk. For once in my life, everything's going right, and I have you to thank for it. I don't think anyone in the world could ask for a greater gift than that. Thank you.
No, and listening to that audio clip again, I could see, I think Lucy's real, you know? I think that they did love each other. Like, you hold on to that. As for the kid, if they are real, that I don't know. Because, yeah, that does seem sketch. But sexual compatibility between MacCready and the sole survivor. I think that they could definitely have a lot of fun. Nope, that's too much. That is way too much. Obviously, if you've been married and you've had a kid, you've obviously done it at least once or twice before, so I think you know what you're doing. A certain level of experience can go a long way. So I definitely don't see any compatibility issues between the two of them. And from what I can tell, MacCready likes to have a little bit of fun.
I never knew you could do that with mute fruit. That was amazing.
I never knew you could do that with mute fruit? Mute fruit,
like mutant fruit.
Yeah, my tongue just stumbled over it. That's all.
It's a small purple fruit that grows on little trees, just so you know, for those of you who don't know what mute fruit looks like. I don't know what you could do with it. I guess MacCready didn't either.
Well, he said, I never knew you could do that. So obviously it's something that the survivor is bringing to the table.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's just confusing to me because he wastes the survivor, like, thawed out. And I'm like, must be very creative to come up with something that a guy who grew up there didn't know about. Ooh, they have different varieties. They have irradiated, regular, crunchy, irradiated, crunchy, wild, fresh, and wild vision.
Wild vision?
Fission, like...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
They look like blackberries. Kind of. Or strawberries. Let the imaginations commence.
Yes. I mean, fun with fruit is okay as long as it is not inserted, because you should not put anything sugary in places that they don't belong, because that causes infections.
Yeah, and if you need to be shocked into not doing that, just watch Sex Sent Me to the ER, okay?
Oh,
a lot of it's food.
Okay. We are getting wildly off track tonight, and we still have something to talk about. So, how do you rate this romance, V?
Oh, sorry. I'm not okay. Well, okay, so I was thinking about it actually when the audio was playing and when you were talking about your rating, and I'm just like, for me, because obviously my rating is always my opinion, because I'm only me, and I obviously go for not MacCready. I'm like, what is it about me that wants the guy that I can't actually have sex with? Garrus, allergic reaction. I know you can do it, but like, dangerous. Don't ingest. Solus leaves me. Hancock, irradiation. I don't want to get, I don't know, uterine cancer for one night stand. Like, who knows? I'm just like, why do I inherently choose people who are unavailable to me when MacCready is here, who already is a dad? So, like, we know what happens if you've played Fallout 4 to the sole survivor's son. But, at the time when you're romancing MacCready, you don't know that. So you're like, you would be a good dad for my baby. And you can have, like, a happy, normal life. He can clearly survive and take care of you, I guess. I mean, you just forget how Lucy died. But, I don't know. I think it's cute. It's just weird. Like, I don't know if it's the voice acting or just there's just not enough content with MacCready. I don't know how genuine it feels. It kind of feels like a rebound for both of them at this point. It could be something different in the future, but I don't really know how it would go long term. Because even the dialogue, the romance dialogue, it's not that romantic. It's kind of, they're both talking about, I mean, like, it's very realistic. I like how they're both talking about their spouses, prior spouses. They're widowers, both of them. But then it kind of ends before it gets very romantic. So it seems very early,
Yeah. No, I get it.
But he's nice.
Oh. I
He's
think
just
he'd
nice.
be
I don't
fun.
know. Better than Preston. Sorry, Preston. I like Preston. He's just too good. I don't want that.
Yeah, no, Preston's way too vanilla for me. I would definitely choose MacCready over him.
Mm-hmm.
I would also...
MacCready.
I'd choose MacCready over Dance. Oh, no.
Dance is the absolute bottom for me. The very last. He's the worst one. I do not want to date someone who, upon waking from a night of supposed passion, he's just ad Victorium. No.
Right? Ad Victorium. We are going to move away from that, and we are going to get on to our next subject because I'm really, really excited about it. It has absolutely nothing to do with me. Long time fan of the show. Somebody who has supported us through her artwork, has provided background pictures, given us stuff to use on Twitter, a fan of the Mass Effect Lorecast, a statistician, and one of my favorite people. Absolute favorite people. Cloudy Marie Atlas, get your butt in here.
She's also apparently my internet twin.
Yay!
Or triplet, because I have a twin.
Hang on. I came. There we go. Okay. Like, start this trying. Goodness.
Oh.
That was so nice.
Sorry. V, you have to talk. I'm fixing Twitch.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just thought I was talking too much, so I just muted. Welcome, Cloudy, to the show. And there's something I didn't know about you coming on, but we'll save that. Don't jump the gun, me. First of all, would you mind introducing yourself to our audience and let them know your preferred name on the interwebs and your pronouns?
Yeah. Cloudy Atlas. I go by she, her pronouns. You can find me in the Robots Radio Discord or in the Two Girls, One Ship server, and in the Mass Effect server. I love video games, if you can't tell. And clearly Fallout. These are my hobbies.
Yeah, because wasn't your romance for the one patron chat you came on was the accidental one with the, what was the robot's name again in Fallout?
Gilda. I cheated on Hancock with Gilda, a rolling trash can with clamp hands. I thought I would get more evidence from her, and no.
You got something from her. Sorry, I won't. I just realized that you were taking a sip. No, I was like, I won't make wisecracks while you're drinking.
Cheat on you. I know it was an accident, hence the accidental romance patron chat. We forgive you. I'm sure Hancock would have forgiven you. He probably would have been like, duh, you have to tell me what it's like to have sex with a rolling trash can.
Or been mad, why didn't you take me with?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I would like to know what that is. Like, because they all fade to black, and
yeah,
it's a choice.
No game ever should ever go to fade to black. Give me at least something.
Unless you wanted to. I like that Andromeda did that.
I do like that as a side option, like a setting or a dialogue choice, right? Because that's how it worked in Andromeda. You could just be like, no, I'd rather just cuddle tonight. And I definitely appreciate that. Because while I'm the one to never turn it down like that in a game, there are people who are like that. And that needs to be represented as well.
Yeah, there's people who are playing in their parents' house. And they're like, oh God, they're going to walk in at every moment. So you want to skip it or wait till the middle of the night or something. That would have been what I did as a kid. Yeah. I wouldn't want them to know. I'm 31, and what was it, last year when my mom was here? I was playing the Citadel DLC for the film, and the tango scene, I was like, you have to leave, to my mom. I was like, I can't watch this in front of you. I know what's coming, and I don't want you to see me see it. Okay? She laughed. My mom was the most open mom ever, so I just was like, no, I can't. I need to be alone. TMI, sorry.
Nope, I was just thinking, but I think we should ask Claudia a little bit about her origin story and how she came to love Fallout.
So I started playing Fallout with Fallout 3 in 2016, and I really latched onto that game because I went through, I lost my hearing at the time. So it was the one thing I really enjoyed, and I would just sit there and run through the wastelands in Fallout 3. But I never got into Fallout 4 for some reason, and my dad is obsessed with Fallout 4. He has 5,000 hours clocked into it. I think he makes mods, so he convinced me to get a PC, and the first thing he did was upload, it was a collection. He claims he didn't look at all of them, but he uploaded 370 mods into my Fallout playthrough. One of those mods was Sexy Hancock 2K, which you called out me. So I played it for the first time, and I did not know he was not supposed to look like that. So that's how I got introduced into Fallout.
Which do you prefer, Sexy Hancock mod or regular Hancock?
It's tough because it's I have the bias of I played it with the mod first. So when I see clips, it's just oh, right, that's what he looks like. But I've had people ask, would you still have romanced him if he looked like that? My answer is probably. Clearly, a lack of hair or lips not stopping me from romancing Garrus, let alone Hancock.
Honestly, yeah, another example of why we are. It's that's why it's the female gaze for me, because it's it does not matter what he looks like. All I am seeing and hearing is his actions and his voice. And that's why the voice acting really, really carries it, which is why I feel a lot less about MacCready. Nothing against the voice actor. He just sounds a little bit more monotonous. I don't think it's him being a bad actor. I think it's just that's how they wrote MacCready.
I think I'm biased because he's in 3. Oh, sorry. So I have known him for the last decade. So to me, he seems a lot more well-rounded. And when you were talking about some of his motivations, I was well, if you played 3, they kind of talked about that a little bit. So
yeah. Oh, I did play 3 a lot, but it's been a long time. I don't remember him from Little Lamplight, but I remember Little Lamplight. So I'm sure if I played it again, I would be oh yeah, there he is. I know he's different as a child. Clearly, he cursed all the time. He's a little punk kid, and
he swears every other word. And the way I got into town is I had the Child of Heart perk. So you tell him your face looks like my butt, and he responds with, "Then you have a pretty good looking butt." or something like that.
That's great.
And that's the first conversation you have with him.
See, that adds a lot. I guess that's why I got sad, because it's like he feels, I mean, he's different for a good reason, because he's grown up and he's seen a lot more. But also, it's like he just, I don't know why, it's so weird, that whole choice for him to be like, I promised my son I would be a better person. And then he just stops cursing, but like noticeably, like he'll catch himself doing it and awkwardly change how he's saying. And it's like, I don't understand why that's making you a better person. It's just such a weird choice that they did. I don't know.
I think what that is he grew up in a town with no parents, so I think it's like one of those things of stepping up to finally be in a role that he never had. Like, he never had a parent, so I think he's trying to be a better parent, and he's not great at it sometimes, but he tries his best and catches himself swearing and stops himself. And I think, like, when you're talking about him leaving the wasteland, and take this with a huge heaping spoonful of salt, I do not have a child. I could see him justifying leaving his kid alone because he was fine as a kid. I'm not condoning it. I'm reading into that maybe logic train.
No,
So,
I could definitely see that. Leave
The part I have an issue with is not going back when you get the cure. That's all.
I think they did that to keep the romance intact so he didn't get, like, dumped. I really do.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel. That's why he doesn't feel genuine, I guess, because it's like talked about his son this whole time, and then the second you get the cure, he just gives it to Daisy and is like, "All right, I love you now." I'm like, wait, what about your kid? Don't you want to go see him? Because he could come back. I don't know. I don't know how they would have done that, but it just feels weird. Like he doesn't care that much, or maybe Duncan doesn't exist. I don't know. I don't even care if he made that up. That doesn't bother me. It's just weird. It doesn't feel. I think it's just they didn't finish his plot line or something. I don't know.
Okay. Technical pause. If you guys want to continue the conversation, I would very much appreciate that. I need about 10 minutes to go fix something downstairs, so I'll be back.
Oh, work. Okay. I was gonna ask. So we obviously talked a lot about Hancock and MacCready. Did you happen to learn anything new, or was there anything that we missed?
Let's see. I definitely, one of my favorite, like, romance dialogues from Hancock is a very rare one. You have to get dumped by him. Have you ever seen it? Oh, it's so good. So you have to do horrible things to get dumped, and I've never actually gotten his affinity lower than like 100% because it seems that we have a very similar moral alignment, so it's never really been an issue. But it's an interesting dialogue because he breaks up with you, and he's so distraught over having to do this. He's like, "You're not the person I thought you were. I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you." And then if you get back together by earning his affinity, he straight up just tells you he loves you. You should look up the video. It's about a minute long. It's really good.
I like that. Yeah, that would have. It's so weird how, like, if you don't get dumped, they don't have him say that to you. It's just like, let's give it a go. We'll just tentatively date. But then if you break his heart and then you get back together, he's like, no, I love you.
Yeah, he calls you, like, the missing piece in his life. Like, it's a pretty romantic speech. And it's a rare one. Like, it's a really rare chance you're going to see that.
That's cool. I was looking up from when we were doing fun facts. I was finding a lot of interesting quotes. Like, for instance, let me see if I can remember it because my brain is mush. He knows a lot about biology, apparently. Like, he'll just randomly talk about stuff that's, like, interesting for him to know. Let me look it up again because there was one that really stuck out to me, and now, of course, I forget it because today was a day.
He does give advice. It's like if you throw grenades under a mirelurk, you can blow their shell off. And I didn't know that. And I started doing it in the game. And you can clean blow their shells off if you get them underneath it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mirelurks are notoriously annoying to kill because of their shells.
Yep, you can blow them off. And then it makes a boat.
That's funny.
I do like that he also talks about video games and books a lot. Like he has a line. It's like a book is a ghoul's best friend because it doesn't scream when it sees your face, and it's the saddest line he just throws out there. It really bums me out.
Oh, here, that's why it's collapsed. Ooh. Internet. Okay, here we go. The fuck? Okay, sorry. Oh yeah, where was it? Aw. Oh my gosh. This is what happens when you try to do your show on the day that you go to the ER. Oh, I guess that he will, if you go in a vault, he'll like yell, oh gosh, the tunnel snakes rule. And I'm like, was he in a vault? Like, how does he know about the tunnel snakes?
I'm guessing MacCready because if you hand off, like, you know, the companion dialogue, if you swap one companion for another, they'll say some words. The funniest one, in my opinion, is MacCready and Hancock, because they practically like high five on their way out. Like Hancock thinks really highly of MacCready. Like he trusts him to keep you alive, and then like I can't remember the full dialogue, but like it's clear that they at least chat because he's like, oh, Hancock lets me stay in Good Neighbor doing whatever MacCready does. I don't know, standing in the VIP lounge.
Yeah. I also think it's funny he flirts with Kate and Piper all the time, apparently. Which it's, you know what's funny is I haven't played Fallout 4 in quite a while, and I do not recall having MacCready. So like this whole episode is like learning about MacCready for the first time, aside from him in Little Lamplight. That was the only thing I knew about him.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't 10 minutes.
I also love like if you're with Hancock in the Brotherhood of Steel and dances around, I can't remember what Dan says. It's something rude and offensive. But Hancock just goes, relax, crew cut, you're not my type. It just makes me laugh every single time.
I need all of those banters, like all that. MacCready, Hancock especially. We had Win in chat say, tell us more about Hancock, Cloudy, which I'm down for because I love him. I love that character trope of like just the sassy, snarky, somewhat bad character. Oh, I should go get my N7 sweater. Then we'd all match. Okay, go on. Tell us why you love Hancock. Why? Because you chose Hancock over MacCready, or do you choose both?
I choose Hancock every time. He was okay. So my first playthrough, I tried to romance Piper, and I had a computer at the time. I don't know why this occurred to me, or didn't occur to me. When I was romancing Piper, she disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. She was gone. I was fully planning on romancing her, and she disappeared. I didn't think to look up a mod of like find my companion or anything. So I was like, okay. And I brought Nick, the Good Neighbor, and he started talking to Hancock, and I was like, oh, I think I read about this guy. He's like the only romanceable ghoul or something outside of like New Vegas. So I was just like, sure, I'll recruit that guy. And I just ended up getting really attached to him because I'm just like a sucker for a good like one-liner, and he's just full of them. It's a problem. And like you said earlier, the voice.
The voice. I mean, the second you meet him, he's defending you. And then he like says he's a sexy king of the zombies. And I'm like, I love the confident but also self-deprecating humor. Yes, my exact brand. Love it. And then on top of everything, oh, I forgot to mention actually that article that Jen read an excerpt from. The reason it was called like the character that broke her heart was because she dismissed Hancock once and he disappeared. She never saw him again before she got to finish romancing him. Yeah, and that's something that really annoyed me is because Hancock is an optional companion. Just like, I think MacCready's also optional. Any of the optional ones can die. Yeah, because MacCready can die. And apparently his last words are always, no, please, no, which is horrible.
Oh, super sad.
But so like if you, especially there's like a possibility of them dying when traveling back to a settlement. So if you're in like Sanctuary and you dismiss him to go back to Good Neighbor, he can just die trying to get back to Good Neighbor, and you will never find his body because it's the wasteland. And then you'll just wonder where Hancock went. That happened to my dog meat once. I think it was a glitch, like he just fell out of the sky or something. I don't know. He just was never seen again.
Poor dog meat. Come back, puppy.
Oh, wrong thingy. So we talked about that one. Okay. Do you feel that we did these romances justice? And do you agree or disagree with our ratings for Hancock and MacCready?
No, I think you pretty much nailed it. Like when you asked me which one do I prefer the Hancock romance, and like you said, like you enjoyed it much more thoroughly. And MacCready's leaves a lot of questions. It felt like he was really half baked in concepts. Like they were like, oh, what if we brought in somebody from Fallout 3? Let's just pull this random character and give him a tragic backstory with questionable motivations. But I will say for MacCready, I really enjoy the line where he talks about Lucy, and then it's like, would it bother you if I said I still loved my partner? Because I think, and I haven't done all the romances, but they're the only person that brings up the fact that you are a widow or a widower. Nobody acknowledges it, and I really appreciate.
But otherwise, that's it. I think.
Okay. Oh,
that's
right.
because
He
Preston
does
is like lawful good, and so he's just like, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Whereas MacCready's also a widower, so I thought that was like a mature moment in their talk where they're both like, "Are you okay to love someone else? Can you love someone while still loving your widowed person, like your dead spouse?" Which, yes, you can.
Which is, it's a very interesting, honest conversation. It's great to begin with, but like MacCready, you get his affinity by stealing, lying to people, and coercing them into paying you more. And it's just a very honest and frank conversation, which I was very surprised by.
Well, yeah, that's why I'm not sure how genuine he is, because like he's not a bad person because he doesn't like hurt innocent people or anything, but he does take advantage of people. Just inherent mercenary work does that, you know? It's your morals are who's paying you at the time, typically. So that's also why I prefer Hancock, because, you know, he's not bad in that way. You know, he's the opposite. He doesn't want people to take advantage of people. He actually, I think, dislikes you asking for more money when people are asking to hire you. But I mean,
and if you just run around
I do
naked,
feel like they kind of did that exact thing. Is just like pick a rando from Fallout 3 to bring into MacCready. That works. It's a weird choice. There's so many other people. I wish they did a little bit more because those two games happen so close together on the timeline of Fallout that like you could have had some references to the Lone Wanderer or, you know, other people, because also Washington, D.C. and Boston aren't terribly far apart. They clearly do travel between them often enough because MacCready and Lucy did. So I don't know. I wish there had been something. I guess they just announced Fallout 5 is coming after Elder Scrolls 6. And my husband was like, release date, October 23rd, 2077.
I believe it. I believe it. I also like the fact that you can raise Hancock's affinity by running around naked. That's like one of my favorite things to do.
I did that accidentally. I didn't mean to. I was like walking through doors and I was like, why is his affinity going up so high? Because I have a tally like on my computer that tells me the percent, and I was like, it's just going up like 3% every time I go in a building. And then I turned into third person mode. It was like, oh no. I wondered what was on the like nice clothing emperor comments.
Oh yeah. I know his comments are so great. I guess you could just like solidify your romance forever with Hancock by waltzing naked into the Sons of Adam church in like the bomb epicenter. The glowing
I used public occurrences because I thought it was punny.
Nice. Very nice. And as somebody who has done multiple full playthroughs, what makes you want to come back each time?
It's probably, like I said, the one-liners. It's just like every place you go, they usually have like a quip, and his are by far the funniest. I enjoy Piper's, but like his are just way funnier. Like MacCready's are always just kind of like grumpy and curmudgeonly. But I'm a sucker for a good sense of humor. So
I feel like
yeah, I always promise to leave him, and I can't do it.
Mm-hmm. That's like, I listen to Armchair Expert all the time, and Dax Shepard's like the one of the hosts on there, and he always talks about how he couldn't be like the hottest, most popular kid when he was in high school. So he became the funny guy, and that was how all the girls flocked to him. And I'm like, that's a stereotype, but it sure is true. At least for me, it is.
Mm-hmm. Bad boys are my thing.
Yeah. Bad.
And apparently
boys,
skin is
though.
not an issue. Yeah.
I also like, while I joked around about Bethesda and the glitchies that they are known for, they are affectionately called Bugthesda occasionally, if you don't know. And some of them are hilarious, though. Like, that actually adds to the wonderfulness that is Fallout. So that's one of my favorite things, just wandering the wasteland and you're like, oh, that happened. That I don't think that's supposed to happen, but it's hilarious.
Like, I did notice it's not a bug per se, it's like an engine fault. But the way clothing ripples or anything ripples, it's how you turn your head as a character. So if you turn your head fast enough and look at MacCready and Hancock, you can just see their cloaks flapping. And it makes me laugh every time.
That's awesome. They both have their look, and apparently dusters are it.
Apparently my type is mare.
I know, that's what was funny too. They're both mayors.
But not McDonough. I don't extend that far.
Oh my gosh, no. That's what also was puzzling. I'm like, you guys are brothers, and we're supposed to believe like Hancock is like the hot one. It's hard to look at Mayor McDonough and be like, do you look like pre-Ghoul Hancock in any way? Because I prefer Ghoul Hancock, if that's the case.
I shortened that in my head and almost said it out loud. I was like, you prefer Ghoulcock? And I mean, yeah.
Does a bear shit in the woods, I guess. I don't know. That is only to say if it's still there. There was one dialogue he said where he was, I think, did we play it? I can't remember because his romance dialogue was actually pretty long, so I didn't put the whole thing. But at one point in it, he says, "You're kind of like a piece of me that was missing." He's like, "But that happens a lot when you're a ghoul." I love how it's like a serious love conversation with just some humor in there. Oh, it was so good.
Yeah, it's you're the piece I've always been missing, like that toe I lost, and you're like, oh.
But, I mean, if we already decided a couple weeks ago that Lego boyfriends are a thing, I think that no matter what, a relationship with Hancock could make it work. I think you could do it. For sure.
Plug and play. I guess, finally, before we end this freak show, is there anything that you would like to plug, Cloudy?
I guess I have a Twitter, 22. I post art, typically Mass Effect, but sometimes Fallout 4 and Dragon Age. And you can find me in the Windows One ship server or the Robots Radio server. Cloudy Atlas.
Cloudy is the everywhere. And most recently on the Mass Effect Lorecast doing the results from the surveys. Maybe we need to do that for us. Like an actual, like, just straight up, go for it, Cloudy, romance survey.
Oh my god, okay. Do we have to keep this PG or can we just like...
No, it's our audience. Fuck everything.
Every episode of ours is explicit for a reason.
Yeah. And not just because we say fuck all the time. It's anything that can be considered sexual content. Yeah.
Yeah, on Patreon, we're among the adult performers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They put us in that category.
Because we make
because you showed your foot
sexual
1 week, Jen.
It has nothing to do with that. Oh, yeah. No. No, we are considered adult. We are considered adult content creators because we make content for adults only. Yeah.
And non-sheltered preteens. Because my cousin's daughter apparently listens to the show. And
yeah. My little brother listens to the show, and I was like, ew, what are you doing listening to this? And he was like, ew, I'm not 12 anymore. And I was like, okay, fine, valid. But if you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave us a review on iTunes or give us a rating on Spotify and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me in our Two Girls One Ship chat on the Robots Radio Discord channel, and come give us a follow on all the social medias and on Patreon at Two Girls One Ship. Links to those are in the description.
I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well, and on our own Two Girls CGI, Significant Others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time, or watch the YouTube video a few days after the stream. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening, and remember,
beauty is in the eye of the controller. Sorry, my rabbit is just like loud as fuck behind me right now. Jesus. What is he doing? Whoop, whoop. Look at him.
Serious fun.
Stop playing with the box. He's so loud.
An hour and 25 minutes. Not too bad. Considering
oh, yeah,
I think we tangented.
I was going to ask, what is the topic of the survey? Because I am not familiar.
Oh, the Mass Effect survey or the survey that we want to do?
Either or. I haven't heard the Mass Effect survey one yet.
Oh,
it was like a bunch of different questions.
Yeah, like your choices. A lot of them were, who did you romance? What were your final choices? What class did you play? What gender?
Those are all good questions. We were just talking about that in the Cups' Discord the other day. Was it yesterday? Like, it's so hard to find. I don't think BioWare has official ones for Dragon Age, and I'm not sure about Mass Effect. Like demographic stuff, like who picked what.
Cloudy, you could totally do a Dragon Age survey for the Cups. I'm just gonna
or us.
The third one.
I'll be your stat pimp. Here,
I
take
would
Cloudy.
like it
She'll
for
do
us
stuff
too,
for you.
Because our next game is Dragon Age 2, y'all.
I'm so excited. I just beat it. I just romanced Fenris.
Me too. Oh my god. Always the same.
Also, I finished the drawing for your episode. I will post it so you guys can post it. And I also I went to Boston last week, and guess what my sole purpose was? I went to the old State House.
Show her the picture. Show her the picture. I've already seen it.
Please.
Okay. One, you will get out of the fade. I promise. It happens eventually. You just got to keep going.
Oh my gosh. Look at your adorable face. Oh, I would have done the same thing.
So the funniest thing, I run upstairs. It's on the 3rd floor. By the way, that room is massive. It is not small. It goes like 40 feet. But I run up to the coat, and this girl's working there. She's like, I have to ask. So many women come in here, and they want to take a photo with the coat, and I don't know why. Can you tell me why? And I was like, let me tell you about a little game called Pop 4.
She's
So
like, all
I guess
these
the coat
girls be
brings
thirsty
tourism.
for John Hancock. But she's thinking actual founding father John Hancock.
Yeah, people just really like that one.
No. The one founding father
penis
I
foot.
would divorce my husband for and marry is freaking Alexander Hamilton. Okay, that man was a king among men. None of the founding fathers were as cool as him.
Also,
It's
real
not just
quick,
because
the
of
of the
Hamilton to
people,
play.
the of the people for the people line, that's a Lincoln quote, and it bothers me he says it.
I know, because he's supposed to be all John Hancocky, and then he throws out a random Abraham Lincoln quote. Okay, I guess you're just picking and choosing from American history. That's fine. But he's improving upon the theme because everyone's welcome. So that's cool.
Okay. So, Fallout, we can say that it is like, so this is a question that I've had this whole time, that it is geared towards men that like to play shooty games. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously we are three women who play the game, but still. It is supposed to be post-apocalyptic Fallout nuclear wasteland. Why are there only 3 female companions and everybody else romanceable is male?
Maybe they thought the demographic of people who would actually care about romancing people would prefer men. Like, maybe they assume, because a lot of people I talk to who are men who play the game, they're like, I don't romance anybody. Or if they do, they romance Kate. They don't
Yeah.
care about romance being a feature in the game.
I don't know. When did Fallout 4 come out? 2014? Yeah. I guess those were still in the before 4 times.
Maybe 15.
But, yeah. I mean, BioWare was ahead of its time. So, you can't really compare. I have heard that, I haven't looked really into Star. It will have romance. And, I'm guessing Elder Scrolls 6 will have more romance because they added a lot of marriage stuff to Skyrim. So I think they're going to pursue it more.
I think there's romance in Starfield because somebody said there was a perk that implied that you could do that. It was basically the Lover's Embrace perk.
Well, I hope they don't just keep doing what they did because while it was enough to make us all feral for Hancock and Piper. A lot of guys really like Piper for some reason. I mean, I like her too, but just it's either Kate or Piper. I guess that's the only choice. Kiri's so cute though. Go with Kiri. But like, we just took it and ran with it and made fan art and fanfic. Like, they can do that. Can't they do that?
Yeah.
There's somebody who works at like, I don't know, a customer service job, and then they go home and furiously type out fan fiction on Archive of Our Own. Then people who are paid to write can definitely write more romance content. That's my stand.
I wonder if that's how it's like split up. Like, are there people who are like, like questline designers, and then, but then are there like romance dialogue option narrators? Like, are they separate categories? Are they specialists
From my
in their
limited
field?
understanding, I mean, I guess it depends on the studio, but they definitely do have like people who write the barks and the banter, people who write quest dialogue, people who write like interpersonal dialogue, and then I know that romance, I don't know if it's like you're only writing the romance, but the people who are actually writing like the story development dialogue seem to do the romance too. Like, I remember David Gator saying about Dragon Age, like, he said this on Twitter a while ago. He's like, he doesn't understand why. He's really good at writing romance, even if he doesn't really want to. Like, he doesn't work at BioWare anymore, but, you know, he's the reason we have Dragon Age. So I'm thankful that even though he didn't apparently like writing romance, went for it because we have so many things to be thankful for. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess it depends. I suppose the more senior narrative designers, or not necessarily more senior, but writing like more story content would be writing that. It just boggles my mind how they're even able to do it because there's so many people writing all these different aspects, and like you might have this team of people all writing for one character and they all have to sound coherent. So, I mean, they don't always do though, because that's why we have like MacCready, you know. But they did their best for sure.
Oh yeah.
The robot lady.
Sure.
Also, I'm sending you that video, V, of the breakup
MacCready
dialogue.
Yeah. When you were gone,
really
Jen,
good.
Claudia said that MacCready actually says like he loves you and stuff. If
no,
he
Hancock.
hates... Oh, it's Hancock. I think he says MacCready. Take it back.
Sorry, I might have said
still
MacCready.
boring. No, it's okay. Hancock, even better. I mean, he still says he loves you, like in the one dialogue. He just calls you love, really. But that's close enough. That's
Why
close
am
enough
I
for me.
such a sucker for nicknames? Like I don't get it.
Sorry.
Anders
He calls
calls
you
me
Sunshine.
And Garrus, Shepherd, Sweetie, what is it? Shepherd, Sweetheart, Love of my life, Honey, Sweetie, Honey, Love of my life, and I'm just like melt. And then Anders calling me Sweetheart, and Kadan, I cannot hear Kadan enough. Give me more.
I'm glad that you had that. I'm just thinking about our last month, so and that's all I got. That's all I got from Solus.
I know. You don't get shit. And I got to beat my man with a stick.
Tie him up from the chandelier or something.
Mm-hmm.
By his horns.
Big Cullen, and haven't finished it yet, so no spoilers.
Oh. Well,
no,
congratulations. No, I'm just saying congratulations. It's actually, according to the survey that they did on Reddit, like somebody actually survey just for people to do. And Cullen came out as the most popular romance. They only did it for Inquisition. And Dorian was the most popular companion. Duh. Like, love him. My sister romanced Cullen. You guys got a good one. I'm not
I never, ever bring him. He's been out of the house, I think, twice.
Dorian?
Yeah, it's because I know going into the Fate, I'm like, Solus is going to have things to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just like, Solus is going to trump for... I play games for character dialogue. So like, I'll plan missions just solely based on who I think will have interesting dialogue.
Yep. Yeah, screw tactics. It's strategic team building. Okay? I want who's going to be interesting to listen to. I could care less. I am a button masher. Get through the fights as fast as possible and want the story. Which is probably dumb. That's why I play on easy most of the time, because I don't want a challenge. I just want to hear the story.
Yeah, no, I totally
What's happening
get
after
that.
October 21st?
What?
I don't know. Daddy Bat Night put after October 21st. He's going to be distracted. I don't know. Is there a thing happening? Is it
There's
Halloween?
probably a game coming out.
The Halloween times are upon us. I mean, they're already upon me. 2nd September hits. I'm like, all right, time to trick or treat. Gotham Knights.
I was like, I knew there was a new Batman title coming out.
Oh, I don't pay attention to the Marvel/DC anything, really. It's just not my jam.
Then that means that you've probably never listened to the Marvel Lorecast. The MCU.
No, I was considering it just because so many people love it so much, and I want to have something to talk about.
I honestly think that they do a good job of like just going through the movies and making it like interesting enough so that way if you don't know have a lot of the background information, you learn from it. But so it's by Syke and Shenko, which we love on the show and in real life. But I did a Sam for them. So my old spoiler alert of I'm sorry, lovelies, and you are in the wrong place. I gave them that audio clip, so I'm their spoiler alert.
That's cute. I love that. Who's your spoiler alert for your Cyberpunk podcast?
I don't have one yet. You want to do it?
I have nothing to say. I mean, yeah, I can do something.
My V gives a spoiler alert for the game
Oh,
about
yeah,
V.
that works. Okay, it's bedtime. V volunteers as tribute, yes. Thank you for coming, Cloudy, and for fangirling with us over Hancock, mainly.
And
I'm
how
glad
about
that you are also a fan. I didn't know that until like 2 weeks before this, really. So
Mm. I know.
and of course,
I
in 3
literally,
weeks.
when I first played that game, only picked him because I was like, God damn it, I can't pick Nick Valentine. And I still am mad about that. But then as I Hancock, I was like, oh my God, just kidding. I like him more. Because Nick has that too good bit. Hancock's a little bit mean. I like it.
Okay. We have the patron episode on the 30th, and then we have an episode on the 7th, and then on the 14th, we're all going to be in the same room, bitches.
Hope my voice is back for some karaoke.
We need to pick out a song. Ooh, and then, because then, let's see.
You have to pick a song ahead of time? You don't just have like
No,
a
no,
book?
no, I'm saying we need to pick a song for the girls to sing. We'll figure that out.
I don't know.
Because
Do we have to
Win
pick
will
right
be
now?
there, Yuri will be there, I think, and then Claudia will be there, I'll be there, you'll be there, and then Sam will be there, and Navi will be there, and I think that's everybody. Meiji might be there, but I don't think so. Is Sheen coming? I need to know if he's going to be. Oh, yeah, of course he is.
Can I sit in the corner like a mouse? Because I'm an introvert.
No.
That's a lot of people. I mean, I'll be happy to be there.
I'm going to get
scared.
slutty drunk again.
Unless I get some drink.
Oh, we are drinking. We are drinking big time.
Okay.
But that's also why I cut the room off at 10 o'clock. So that way we can't get fucked.
No, I'm a baby. 10 o'clock for you guys would be midnight for me. So I will be tired. Especially from flying, because it just makes, it's not like a particularly long flight, but traveling is just tiring. But I think I can muster the adrenaline as long as I'm allowed to sleep in. I don't know what time our panel is on Saturday.
No, but I
hope
got
it's the
confirmation.
afternoon.
I got confirmation at what hotel you're staying at. So, because I was
you
talking
do?
with Jake. Yep.
That's good, because I didn't get that.
Yeah.
At least Mama knows.
Yes. Mother
Who
knows
shines?
best. Wins, boy.
Oh, loves the punk rock? I mean, that's fine with me. Serious fun. Sorry. I
He's
don't know if
being
you can
very
hear him.
noisy
He's-
today. Yeah. That's fine. Okay.
he's-
You go to bed, my love. And yes, there is a
Hopefully
big
pass
black
the kidney
blob
stone
on the
soon.
floor. Yeah.
I've never had one, and I hope to never have one again. It's like I said, apparently because of my chronic UTI. Something about takes the citrate out of your urine and helps you build up. I don't really know. My mom's a nurse. We talked for like 2 hours about it because I guess her mom got them a lot, and she's like, "I'm so sorry." I was amazed at how
Yeah.
much it hurt. Just FYI, I guess drink water, guys, and don't get UTI if you can handle it. I don't know. I don't even know why. Yeah, I know. It's like 64 fluid ounce water bottle. Drink 2 of these a day. There's not enough, apparently. I'm excited.
All right.
I haven't literally done anything fun since 2019, like a hangout with anybody. I'm excited. But I'm supposed to go to bed. Sorry.
Yes. Go to bed. I will see all you lovely, wonderful people tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out in the chat tonight. We definitely have had quite a few users in there, and quite a few of you are still hanging out right now. But until next week, what is the schedule? schedule for this week is Wednesday. We will have a spin the wheel Wednesday, figuring out what the hell I want to play because I still have no clue. Although I have really gotten into Cyberpunk for like a couple of different reasons. Thursday night will be the first live stream of Jen and Toasty's new Cyberpunk Lorecast. Twitch.tv/Cyberpunk Lorecast. Come give us a follow. And then Friday night we will be live recording our patron chat. Do we have a topic yet? What are we talking about?
Let me go look at the poll and see what the updated answers are. Real fast. I usually look like as close to the date as possible because it changes. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Serious Bond. Okay, so overwhelmingly, the one that's winning is what game, universe / world would you want to live in? That idea came from my beloved ginger husband. And he was like, duh, everyone wants to talk about that. That's a great topic.
Which universe do you want
a while ago.
All right, I'll have to think on that one.
He says there's only one right answer because my husband is like an all or nothing.
Okay, well, Kyle, I'm not living in... No, I'm not... No.
He's playing Skyrim right now. I think that's what...
Well, him and Sam can go hold Elder Scrolls hands together and run off into the Morrowind sunset.
Cute.
Would be cute.
I can't search in Twitch. I was trying to subscribe to...
to be... Okay, so the way that you do it in stupid Twitch is that you are here... the page, it's like following, and then there should just be a search button, and then you've got to click up at the top of the phone to make your keyboard actually show up.
Magnifying glass, but it won't come up. Browse? No.
Yes, and then like
I'll
scroll
find it
up.
later. Dude, I've added channels before, so I don't understand. Did it update? And
Well, that and you have a stupid iPhone.
I like my Apple products.
And I like my Android.
Usually. I used to have an Android. Fucking piece of shit. Okay. I don't know. I'll find it.
Mommy's got to go back to
Wait,
work.
maybe. Oh, yeah, you probably do. Okay,
all right, so I am ending the stream.
Patrons. Thank you, Cloudy.
Yes.
Love you forever, Internet Twin. Also excited to meet you both in person next month. It'll be fun.
Yes. Good night.